I just tilt the saw back and it returns automatically. Saw goes back to 0 degrees. Sometimes I might want to go to -1 degree, in which case a simple adjustment there gives me -1 degree. The unique central clamping system locks the saw at any angle at the front and the rear with just the one single knob. Now if you're using a track system, the saw pivots about the underside of the track. So no matter what angle is selected, this edge is always your cut line. If you're working just off the base plate, Mafell have developed a movable pointer that slides across no matter what angle you have selected to indicate the left-hand side of the saw blade. The base plate is grooved to take the Mafell track system, but if you remove this blanking plate, you can use it with other guide rail systems as well. Plunge saws are always much more efficient for dust extraction, but Mafell have gone one step further. They're completely closed in the housing. You can even seal right up to the work at the point of cut. However, this would make blade changing quite difficult. No problem on this saw. Simply press in the button, release the lever, and the door hinges open. The spindle locks automatically. There's also no chance of starting the motor while the door is open. The switch is locked off. For a totally chip-free cut on both faces of the board, Mafell have developed a scoring system, but it does require you to make two separate cuts. Selecting this lever on the top restricts the first cut to a depth of 3 mm. We then disengage it and make the second cut at full depth. The second cut automatically offsets to the right by 0.1 of a millimetre to ensure that chip-free surface. There are two marks on the housing that indicate the position of the blade during the plunge cut at maximum depth of cut. For shallower depths of cut, you can use the position indicator, which just clips in place, and just the sliders for the depth of cut you're going to be using. This will indicate where the cut starts and where the cut stops. Here you can see just how smooth and controlled the plunge action is. The position indicator ensures accurate plunge cuts every time. In the MT55cc plunge saw, you have some truly innovative features. Scoring for a fine finish on laminated surfaces, quick depth control, plenty of power from the Cuprix motor, and the world's fastest blade change facility. Definitely a cut above the rest. That was just one of the unique tools from Mafell. For more information, contact your nearest dealer or log on to the website. Mafell, built by professionals for professionals. Here's something different in the way of a track system, the Mafell Aerofix track. Standard tracks rely on rubber seals underneath to provide friction to hold it in place while you're working. That's not always 100% reliable. The alternative is to use clamps at either end. The problem with this is it is only holding in those two positions, and it also might distort the track, and it's another action you have to perform to actually tighten them up. The Aerofix overcomes all these problems and uses a standard vacuum cleaner to generate a vacuum underneath the track to hold it in place with no other form of clamping. And the adapter also allows you to connect up your power tool simultaneously, so you're extracting from the power tool you're using and holding the track in position at the same time. The Aerofix kit consists of a 1.3 meter track with built-in connector which allows you to make cuts from the edge of the work. You're also supplied with a top mounting connector which fits a standard Mafell track and allows you to work anywhere on a sheet of material, whether flat or inclined, up to a maximum angle of 45 degrees. So let's see this in action. The 1.3 meter track already has the connector fitted in place. So now it's just a question connecting up to the dust extractor, connecting up to the power tool, adjusting the sliding blanking off plate to match the width of cut, lay the bar in place, start the extractor, position where required, and now you can see the tremendous grip that has got. It's impossible to move that sideways. If you're working on site, on the floor, or anywhere where access is restricted for the standard 130 track, you can instead use any Mafell track in conjunction with the top adapter that comes with the Aerofix kit. This just slides into position, locks up, and now you connect up in exactly the same way. Pipe on for the dust extractor, pipe on for the tool you're using. And now you can get that same firm grip, putting the track anywhere on the board, even for making plunge cuts. For absolute accuracy and to minimise chipping, the rubber guide edge is supplied slightly oversized on a new track. This needs to be trimmed back before you first use the track. That was just one of the unique tools from Mafell. For more information, contact your nearest dealer or log on to the website. Mafell, built by professionals for professionals. This is a KSS 300, a truly unique saw. It actually combines 5 different saws into one compact unit. It's a miter saw, a compound miter saw, a plunge saw, and a panel saw. So let's have a closer look at each of these functions. Unlike a conventional saw, where you have to mark a line and then try and follow it by eye, the KSS system allows you to make precise cuts from just a single mark. It has all the advantages and accuracy of a crosscut saw. There's only 3.2 kilograms is a fraction of the weight. Angled cuts are easily set by adjusting the movable stop on the underside of the track. There's a range of angles from plus 60 to minus 45 degrees with presets every 22.5 degrees. Now here's something really clever. With a conventional saw, when you change the bevel angle, the position of the cut line changes as well. A lot of trial and error involved trying to get it all lining up properly. Just watch this. With the KSS saws, the blade pivots about the track edge. So that is always your cut line, no matter what the angle. It's just so easy. You're on the line every time. Another very tricky job with a conventional saw is grooving and trenching cuts. It's very difficult to set the depth precisely, and also you then have to make repetitive cross cuts and keep them accurate. The clever parallel rise and fall system developed by Mafell allows you to very easily adjust the cutting depth. The height can then be locked in any position, allowing trenching cuts or grooves to be cut easily. And look at this scale, right here where it's so easy to read. So let's cut a 10mm trench. The problem with a chop saw is you're normally restricted to a cutting width of about 300mm. Anything longer requires an additional saw. With the KSS system you're provided with a flexible track, and this allows you to make cuts up to a length of 1.4 meters. Let's see how easily this works. The Flexi Guide is coated with a non-slip rubber underside and also has an anti-splinter guard to minimise breakout. Just lay it in place, no clamps are needed. First, remove the saw from the crosscut track by raising the motor and releasing the catch. The base of the saw has a secondary groove which corresponds to the ridges on the guide track. At any one time there will always be 3 in contact to maximise accuracy. Even at full cutting depth, the 900-watt motor has more than enough power to cut 40mm material. For uneven surfaces, the track can be clamped using the brackets provided. Sometimes you may want to start the cut in the middle of the board rather from the edge, a so-called plunge cut. That's no problem with the KSS saws. Remember, I showed you the parallel rise and fall earlier. Mafell has also developed a spring-loaded riving knife that retracts as the blade enters the work and springs back down once the cut is established. The design of the saw with the blade just 13mm from the edge of the housing allows you to trim doors in situ or cut skirtings to fit laminate floors. This accessory, which is supplied with the saw, means you can use the extractor even when the saw is flat, like this. Another remarkable feature is that everything we've shown you not only comes as standard with the machine, but also fits easily into the professional carry case. A real advantage when you're working on site. For bigger section material, you may prefer the extra capacity of the KSS 400. This has a bigger depth of cut, a more powerful motor, and a 400mm crosscut capacity, although you can increase this to 770mm with the optional guide rail. You can also use this saw with any of the Mafell track systems. That was just one of the unique tools from Mafell. For more information, contact your nearest dealer or log on to the website. Mafell, built by professionals for professionals.